Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Yes, the purge is here. It continues. The merry-go-round, the wanting Ollie out. Reports this evening suggest that Man United have held talks with representatives of Julian Nagelsmann to test the water to see whether Baby Mourinho, because that is what he has been coined by many people in the media, would be interested in being the next Manchester United manager. This is according to journalist Jack Otway, who says that Man United are seriously considering sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if his reign of form doesn't turn around. And Julian Nagelsmann, not Maurizio Pochettino, he's on top. He's on the top. It's him. It is Nagelsmann, not Poch, who is at the top. Who knew? Who knew that? I've got a new sound effects board. I don't even know what these things do. I want your views. I want your opinions on this. Julian Nagelsmann to Manchester United. 1, would you like to see it happen? 2, does this report hold any value as far as you are concerned? I want to know your feelings. I want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, etc., 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 etc. Smash the like button right about now. Let's go through this article in a bit more detail here. The headline says, Manchester United identify Baby Mourinho as their number 1 target and future manager as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer nears the sack. It's very ominous. Like it is very. That's why I like this. Very. He nears the sack. He nears the sack. He nears the sack. I don't even know what some of these other things do here. Some of them I don't even want to press because I don't know. Was it? I'm a kid. I shouldn't be laughing at stuff like that. What's this one? Hey, that's what I think of this news article. Clown horn, it says clowns. But it goes on to say Man United have earmarked Baby Mourinho as Julian Nagelsmann's Baby Mourinho, Julian Nagelsmann as their future manager as the pressure grows on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's understood that the Red Devils have got imminent plans to axe Solskjaer if his run of form doesn't turn around. Mooted, what that means, mooted reports. I always get silent reports. What does that mean? Muted reports. They either make a noise or they don't. If they're muted, how do you know about them? You know what I mean? Like a silent partner. They're not silent. They're always sticking their oar in. They're a silent partner, nothing, mate. But it says that Man United have made early contacts with representatives of Julian Nagelsmann to sound out whether he would be interested in being Manchester United manager. He says the teams are actually due to meet on the 20th of October, and defeat could signal the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. What do you make of these reports? Is it opportunistic journalism? What? I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know your feelings on this. I truly, truly would. Do me a big favor right about now. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the retweet button as well. It's so important to the Football Terrace that we get that done. It truly, truly is. We're going to open the Skype lines in a few moments for you guys to come on and have your say, get yourselves involved, etc., etc., etc. Ollie ain't going anywhere is what Gary says in the comments. For me, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. These stories are being leaked. These stories are becoming more and more frequent. There is a genuine possibility, no doubt about it at all in my mind, that he could lose his job in the near future. There's just no doubt about that whatsoever. I got none. Not one little doubt that he could lose his job at Manchester United. And I'm serious about it when I say that. And I probably wouldn't have said that 3 or 4 months ago, but I would now. There's no doubt in my mind. Smash that like button, people. Hit the share button as well. Please, please, please. Really important to us that you get that done. Just going here. The comment section seems to have disappeared. I can't see it. And I'm warm in here. I turned the heater on, and now that was a bad mistake. Man is boiling. Man is boiling, you know. Man is definitely hot. I am. I'm definitely warm. Anyway, we got to turn this heater off. Bear with me a second. I'm back, people. Howdy doody. All right, I got the comment section back up in front of me now as well, which is great. Get your comments in, get your super chats in. Skype lines opening in a few moments' time as well. Ian T, one of my members. Evening. Hope you're well. Hope you're well indeed. Hope you're doing good. David Alaba is apparently going Juventus for a free next summer. I wouldn't be surprised. They've got some good players, got a good team. Rare. Pretty damn normal. Makes a lot of sense. Doesn't shock anyone. Comment here says, yes, Nagelsmann. That's all the man said. He's, yes, Nagelsmann. Must be a fan. has to be a fan with that response. He must be. Let's do a few more here. No football. So the media are making up garbage about Man United. Chelsea transfer gossip here says opportunistic journalism. They have nothing once the transfer window is shut. So you think there's no chance United are looking at sacking the man? You think it's like completely beyond the realms of possibility? And I'm asking seriously. If you think that, cool. I'm just trying to understand where people are coming from and with their thoughts. I'm interested in knowing that. I truly, truly am. There's no doubt about that. Drunk again? No, I'm not drunk. I'm just having a laugh, mate. You should try it sometime. Billy T here, one of my members, says, what's the Nagelsmann news? We just went through it a few moments ago, Billy Boyer. If you're just tuning in, reports breaking across social media that Manchester United had early conversations with representatives of Julian Nagelsmann to sound out whether or not the German would be interested in replacing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The article talks about the pressure he's under, how things are capitulating and falling apart at Man United. Poch was seen to be the number one choice, but maybe, just maybe, it's Julian Nagelsmann. That is what's being reported. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings on this. Do you want Nagelsmann as your manager? Would you be happy if he was the replacement for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Get your comments in right about now. Skype lines are open. So if you want to phone the show, get yourself on right about now. Want to hear from you. Let's do some more of these comments here. Get your super chats in as well, people. First caller of the night. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. What are you saying, bro?
Hi. If Ollie is done, what's the point?
Sorry?
We're going to be 18 months down the line. It'll be the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, I know that. Absolutely. But do you want Nagelsmann?
I'd like to see Ollie stay, really.
Why?
Honestly.
Why would you personally like to see Ollie stay?
Because he's already built. You've already seen some forms of progress. But in terms of I'd like to see a long-term, some sort of foundation where he could actually run out his contract and then the next person takes over.
Yeah, listen, I'd love to see that happen as well, bro, but it's so unlikely. Thank you very much for your call. Next up on the show, we got TJ United. TJ, welcome back. What you saying, bro? TJ, you there?
Yeah, Ted.
Hello, bro. What do you want to say, mate?
Yeah, well, I don't trust the board. That's the main thing.
100%.
To me, it's not even about the manager. It's about the board.
100%. It's all about the board. I think it's been all about the board for a long, long time now, and even these reports coming out, it's controlled. We've had media reports for over a week now that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is on the line. It's near breaking, whatever, right? We've seen this for a week. Not once have Woodward and the board come out and shut it down. They're allowing this to ensue because they're enjoying it, because it's taking all the attention away from them. It really, really is, bro. On Nagelsmann, do you think he would improve Manchester United? Would you like him to be the new boss?
Yeah, I would love him to be the manager at United, but as I say, I'm more worried about the board more than Nagelsmann, because maybe we'll wreck Nagelsmann. Because Nagelsmann will want player A and the board won't deliver. That's what I'm worrying about. When Nagelsmann comes in and say, for instance, he comes in he's going to want players that the board are going to fail to deliver.
Bro,
And a lot of these
100%.
fans don't realize that.
Mate, you speak so much sense, and everyone that's excited about Nagelsmann, I'm one. I think Julian Nagelsmann is one of the next great managers. He will be. Man United will destroy him. Man United could actually, if I was advising Nagelsmann, I would tell him not to come to Manchester United. I really, really would. Thank you, TJ, for your call. Stephen here of a super chat says, I'm not surprised. Sorry, I've lost it. He says, I'm not surprised giving Man United's transfer window. He's fallen out with Bruno, and the performances on the pitch at the start of the season have been poor. Stephen, that's a great point. Massive super chat here. Oh my God, thank you to Tox Cole for $100 donation to the Football Terrace. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you for doing that, sir. He says, hey, mate, Nagelsmann would be great, but it'll be the same cycle. I do like Nagelsmann, though. He is top class. Bro, I just said the same thing, and I agree with you completely. He's an amazing manager who has got such a high ceiling. He could become a football great. No doubt about it, a football great. But not under Ed Woodward, not with Matt Judge doing negotiations, not with the Glazers at Manchester United. They will destroy it. They will destroy him. You know, they will. Do you know what remind me of? You've all seen the advert, right? You've all seen the advert. You know, the guy sitting in the back room of the store and everything he touches turns to Skittles. Like, that's Woodward. Everything he touches turns to Skittles are nice, though. He's like horrible, like cockroaches or something. But everything he touches falls apart. You know, he can't. He's just horrible. Horrible. KJ's on the line with us. Welcome back, bro. Been a couple of days, no chat. Nagelsmann is now supposedly the #1 target. What's your thoughts?
You know what? Yeah, I think this is true. Yeah.
You're really quiet, bro. I can barely hear you.
Okay, one sec. Is that better? Is this better?
Much better.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's true. You know why? I think they're getting ready for Nagelsmann after they sat Poch in 2022, and it.
They're like, yeah, they're getting all their ducks in a row. Like, we've got our next 3 or 4 managers lined up. We know who's coming in. We know who we're going to sack. Rare. Bruv. You know what you're saying there, right? About it, it came into my head as we're talking. If none of this is true, like people keep saying, no, he's not going to get sacked. They're definitely not going to get rid of him. If that was the case, why are they not coming out and shutting this all down?
This is what I mean.
It takes 1 minute. 1 minute. And they haven't shut it down at all.
Yeah, even when Jose was getting linked to sacking, like they even came out saying these rumors aren't true. We backed Jose Mourinho 100%, blah blah, all that nonsense, and that's not even come out yet. So I'm wondering, is it happening sooner than we think?
Yeah, I honestly believe the reports we heard last week were as close to the truth as possible. These next 5 games, it's critical. Like with, with Jose though, remember the Newcastle game? It was in sort of the early October, and it was sort of said that if we lose to Newcastle, then that would be it. He'd lose his job. We were 2-0 down early on. We had that miraculous comeback, and then he kind of held on for another 6 weeks. I don't want that to happen. It sounds harsh on Ollie. But if they want him out and they're talking to Nagelsmann, if they're talking to Poch, it doesn't matter what he does in these next 5 games, they still have to sack him. Because if the media are hearing about these conversations, the Man United squad are hearing about these conversations, and you cannot create cohesion in that way. Jem's on the line with us now. Jem, Nagelsmann to Man United. As a rival fan, would Nagelsmann being our manager worry you at all that we could have a resurgence and a turnaround?
I think it would need time. If he comes in, I don't think it would happen overnight. I think it'll be the same thing as Frank Lampard. He'd probably need to get the players he wants as well. But I think it wouldn't be something that would be like a flick of a switch, if you know what I mean. But yeah, definitely it would improve us. But my question's this: the next 5 games, PSG, Chelsea, Newcastle, Leipzig, and Arsenal. Now, if he wins 4 out of 5 games, what do you think? What do you think? I mean, I just got a feeling like the whole Man United persona will change. Like it'll be like all the fans will be like, "Oh, he's done well." Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Jem, it still needs to happen, fam. Like it's got to a point where now we've seen this too much under Ollie and under this board, where we hit a run of form, hit a bad run of form, and hit a run of form and a bad run of form. It can't go on. It cannot continue, and I can only see this going one way anyway, which is Ollie losing his job. So if he gets through them, great. But as Terry said, if they're looking to sack him, just sack him anyway. Like, there's no point of holding on just for him to hit another bad patch of form again for you to sack him. Makes no sense.
So if he loses most of these games, he's definitely gone. Do you think they'll sack him on the spot?
Yeah. If we lose the Chelsea games towards the end, if we lose that Chelsea game, I think he's gone.
Yeah, and this is where
from now till
Jim.
the 1st of November, you've got, like I said, you've got all them teams, and Arsenal is literally the 5th game on the 1st of November. So you've got 5 games from now to November. Just got 5 games.
Yeah, no, absolutely. On that, I feel like this is how bad we are run. This is how poorly we're run, right? If we lose too many of these next 5 games, he'll be gone, and it's I suppose to an extent, it in a minuscule way, it's a good plan of action. So after 5 games, we let Ollie know he's going to be gone before, just when the team leaves to go on the international break, which is 7 games time, just before I think the 10th or 11th of November. That's when he's going to go. He'll know in those final 2 games that he's been sacked. He'll keep it in house because he's Ollie and he's respectful. And then we'll bring in a new manager. The new manager gets 2 weeks with his feet under the table, and then the first 2 or 3 games he has are very winnable games with our squad. With the new manager bounce. That's going to be the approach to it. And that in a minuscule way, you go, okay, that's decent planning. The problem is, if Ollie wins all 5 of these next few games, this is where Woodward and his team are so bad. They'll sit back and be like, oh, should we keep him or should we sack him? Should we keep him or should we sack him? And then they'll keep him. And they keep him for a while. And they might then burn the Nagelsmann or the Poch, whoever they want to come in. Mm-hmm. And then they go on another bad run in January and they go, right, we are going to sack you now. You're done. Who are we going to bring in to replace him? Oh, you know, the 2 guys we were chatting to last time that really wanted the job, that changed their minds now, right? Let's find somebody else. There's no strategy to it whatsoever. And
it's basically a repeat of what's going to happen with Sancho potentially. What happened with Sancho was we told everyone, including the players, the manager, and even Sancho himself, that we're going to sign him. Come to deadline day, we haven't even attempted to sign him. And now he's looking at us like, yo, fam, you guys are dickheads, fam. So I'm not going to come to you guys. Poch must be thinking the same thing, because Poch has been waiting for it's going to almost be 18 months or something for this United job. And he could have got it how many different times? He could have pushed for the Juve move. If he really wanted to burn bridges with Espanyol, he could have got the push for the Barcelona move, but he didn't. So if we are now talking to him, and then we end up waiting till January, February to try and attempt to bring him in, who says in that amount of time that Frank Lampard's still in the job or Pep doesn't walk away? You know what I'm saying? It's football. Anything can change at any moment, and Pochettino can miraculously disappear.
Of course.
From our hands.
110%. We're going to go to Cameron in a minute. Some super chats first. Baz1 says Ed Woodward, Avram Glazer, and Joel Glazer, the axis of evil in brackets. When if they are leaking this before Ollie plays Nagelsmann, shame on them. And that's the whole, in the lead up to this is what this is. This is a prelude story. This is the build up. The week we play them, this is going to be everywhere. Beat them, and it's like, oh, maybe Ollie saved his job. Lose to them, and it will be full steam ahead. I can't even pronounce this guy's name. It plays havoc with my brain, the way the letters are. Is it Annie or later? I can't work it out. 8-3. I cannot pronounce it. It's just the letterings do my dyslexia madness, bruv. Trust me. It says we need to break this 18-month cycle. You're absolutely right in saying that. Nick P with a super chat says, how many times have we called for Ollie's head since he's been here, and he's somehow come back from the dead like a cat? I think this might, though, be his last life. That is from a man like Nick P. You could be absolutely right on that one. Cameron, what's your thoughts on these Julian Nagelsmann rumors of him joining Man United and being our new manager?
I mean, we're doing the same thing we normally do, so there's got to be something in it. When it comes to, let me land here because I got a few thoughts on this. When it comes to Nagelsmann, I appreciate the style he plays. I appreciate what he's done at such a young age and where he's at, but it scares me to bring a manager like him in during this time. because he's at like the kind of apex of his career where I think like his next move should be a little smaller than United, sort of like, a Klopp had like a Dortmund stop or whatnot. I think every manager needs. I think RB Leipzig could be looked at as that way, but since he hasn't had another job afterwards, it would worry me bringing him into our locker room, just because I don't know how those players would respond to, like, to be honest.
Where you going, bro?
He's done something, but a lot of his career and what he's done. And it's like, other than making it to the semifinal, right? So neither is Ollie, let's be honest. But it's like, I look at like a Poch, who, as much as he hasn't won anything, he's has a pedigree of bringing Tottenham to where they are now. Like, we've seen, like, that was him. What he did at Espanyol, like, he's got that pedigree. I'm kind of worried about the Nagelsmann hire, in the sense of, would it be too early? We seem to kind of do that. And would he be the right manager to ready the ship, or would we just in a year or two, if it's not working out, if it's like a Lampard situation, if we bring in Nagelsmann, we have to give him 5 years.
That's what I see. Exactly. On Nagelsmann, that was going to be my exact point. When you look at his record at Leipzig, right? He's played 50. He's had 51 games there as a manager. Of course, Hoffenheim, he had 134 games, right? He's conceded as a manager. Now, look, I know Hoffenheim are not a top team, and Leipzig are kind of like 4th, 5th best level sort of team in Germany. But in 187 games, he's conceded 254 goals, and he scored 375. He has an overall win percentage of 44, right? Now, I get with Man United, the thought process is his style, his system will make him better. He is going to be like Frank Lampard is. And like the Frank Lampard kind of criticism is right, but people have to understand he's literally 2 years into management. And look, Mikel Arteta is sort of having a really good start, but there's going to be moments of ups and downs. This happens to all young managers. Very few get their first job and they kill it and they stay at a brilliant level, and it's plain sailing for them. You can look at Pep and Zidane in recent times, what they've kind of done to a certain extent, but most managers take time to build up and be ready for that level. Look at Jurgen Klopp, what he went through to get there. Look at Sir Alex Ferguson. Look at what he did in his early days, even before he became Aberdeen manager. Nagelsmann doesn't worry me personally, but again, the board and the mob. It'll be like 18 months in, the football's better, but we don't get over the line. He can't get us across the line with his win percentage is only 52%. And you know what you'll see? They'll be like, and Ollie's win percentage was 54%. He's not even as good as Ollie. And it's like, yeah, give him another couple of years. No, I want it now. But I thought you said, if the football was better, you'd be more patient. These people, these fans, are also liars. These fans are as bad as Woodward.
No, the real question we need to be asking ourselves as United fans is, well, not us, but the people out there. Do you actually want United to lose so Ali gets sacked?
Big question.
So
no,
when
you should never want Man United to lose. That's the wrong attitude to have. You should never have.
I disagree. I agree. It's a completely wrong attitude, and everybody who's been talking about it, and I think it was a few people who have said like he's a great escaper. He gets through these 5 games, and I thought Terry's nailed it on the head. If they've already been having these conversations, if it's already the plan to get rid of Ollie, or you're thinking about it, you do it then, even if he wins these 5 games. Because if he wins these 5 games, at the end of the day, you've now brought in a new manager where it's like the bounce is up and it's not a toxic situation. You say, listen, Ollie, we thank you for what you've done, but we think like you've plateaued. And if that's what a good board would do. But we know our board is not a good board.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, knowing our board, that man will sign Pochettino's brother and be like, here he is. And be like, yo, fam, you got the wrong Poch blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to the point with some United fans now. Like, I remember when Jose was in charge, and it was those last few days, like Newcastle onwards, whenever we lost, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm annoyed that we lost, but at least it's one more day closer to Jose being gone. And I feel like that's the same with Ollie now. It's got to that point where people don't mind. It's really mad. They don't mind losing because they know it's one more day closer to the guy they don't like in charge being gone. And that's where it's just got to right now. So when I would not want us to lose all 5 of these games because that would be embarrassing. But I can see people being, okay, I don't want to lose it, but if we do and we get Poch, is that a sacrifice I'm willing to take?
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
And I get their train of thought with that, right? I completely get the train of thought why people would think that. But you're only thinking that way if you don't remember the last 7-8 years. And a lot of these young fans, I don't think they do remember these last 7-8 years. You know why? Like, even like someone who's 20, 21, 22, when you're 13, 14, when you were living, when you're doing what you're doing, like, were you conscious of what was happening really under Moyes? Like, I don't think you're as conscious as you are at 21. I think there's this element of the younger generation, like, you know what? We just get rid of Ollie. The guys that have just become vocal on social media, just started using social media. They don't remember what was said during the Moyes and LVG eras as examples. They might remember a bit of the Ollie situation. And it's like, yeah, everyone said the same thing with those managers being sacked. It would just wipe the slate clean and we'd come back and we'd be fine. It just doesn't work like that. And anyone that wishes their team to lose to get what they want, it hasn't worked yet. So someone's got to show me and convince me as to why Poch or Nagelsmann or any other manager coming in is going to fix it. It just isn't going to happen as far as I'm concerned.
You know what's really frustrating about our board and how stupid they are. They're just they're so incompetent. You should really be looking at a manager instead of just the name, because Poch would be great, Nagelsmann would be great, but you need to look at a manager. Look at the players we have. Can a certain manager get the best out as a whole collective out of these players? Look at the way they play and be like, right, if they use certain components of the team, would it actually work? That's what they should be doing. Because if Poch comes in and he's like, right, I don't like Paul Pogba, I don't like Harry Maguire, I like Phil Jones, we ain't gonna be happy, are we? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that will happen, but you never know. Some managers are mad. Like look at David Moyes and Fellaini, fam. But like this is what I mean. This is why I'm really frustrated about us as a football club, is because we should be now being like looking at the managers who will be able to fit our players and then get them playing good football. We don't do that.
Exactly. And so there's the only way you can operate in that way is if you have the money like Chelsea and City do, just to keep recycling for a manager, and it doesn't matter. We can't get away with that. Like, imagine, and this is still why I'm not sure if the Tottenham Jose experiment works, because those players have got to be completely reprogrammed. And if it does work, it might take a couple of years until they're winning. They even get into the same stages of competitions and being as consistent in the league as they are now. I know a lot of people say things like, well, look what they've done in the last few games. They've killed it. Listen, everyone's got to slow down a little bit. One Swift does not a summer make. And, Liverpool conceding 7 doesn't mean they're finished. City starting slowly doesn't mean they won't win the league this year. And Tottenham banging goals in their last 3 games doesn't mean that all is well. That there's going to be lots of. By the way, even if Ollie stays all season, don't sleep on the fact that Ollie he will go on runs of good form this season with this Man United team and win lots of games. And like a lot of people said, it's highly likely we could go and win 3 or 4 of these games in the next 5, and maybe then people feel a bit better about it, whatever it may be. But for me, I never hope Man United lose ever, not once in my life. But let me just finish my point. If I could, one sec. If I would say this though, the only reason I'd want us to lose is it sounds really kind of sadistic, I suppose, but I almost want it to lose, Ollie to be sacked, Poch to come in, fast forward, Poch to be disrespected and undermined, just to turn around to everyone now saying Poch will save us no matter what, and go, I told you. Can you now be on my side, please? And we fight the Glazers and Woodward together. That's almost what I want, but that's not real. That's if I take my Man United hat off, that's what I want to do. But in the real terms, I want Ollie to win every game for the rest of the season. I want to win the league. Like, I'm being real. Cam, you were going to say something, mate?
Yeah, I was going to say. So I think if we win those games, it depends on how we win them. If we win them playing counterattacking, sit back football, and hitting them on the counter like a small team would against them, then it just kind of tells us where we're at. And then you absolutely have to look at moving on because we should be able to play in those games, which we haven't been able to. Let's be honest. And then the biggest worry about the next manager, and I think I cut out when I was saying it, is what happens if we go out, instead of getting Nagelsmann or Poch, who play attractive attacking football, and we go get because that's who's available. And then we're back in the same situation, because as much as I adore Jose and what he's done as a manager, he was the wrong hire for us. He was never going to play the style of football that we wanted to see. He was going to go out there and he going to be a long-term solution. What happens if we go out and get Allegri?
Cam, do me a favor. Can you go somewhere with better signal? You keep cutting out, bro. Like keep losing, like you for sort of 5-10 seconds at a time.
Oh shoot, sorry.
It's all right, man. Yeah, it's all good. I want to hear what you got to say, and it just keeps cutting out. We could do some
You're
super
making
chats.
some great points.
You are, mate, and they just keep cutting out, and I wanted to land properly for you, mate.
So let me hold on.
No worries. Yeah, we'll come back to you just a sec. Sort your signal out. Eric here, the super chat says, so do you guys think if Nagelsmann is in charge, he will win the next 5 matches? They are hard. It takes time. It's not all Ollie, the players and the board also. Eric, you make a great point. It's not a guarantee that any manager in the world would win these next 5 games with this Man United squad. The point is, they will wait until after these 5 games, regardless, to sack the manager, so that the guy coming in has on paper an easier run, so that they can push the PR out. If we win our first 3 games, imagine we had these 5 games for Ollie's interim period, and we lost 3 of those 5. Imagine the fact that he never would have got the job. The feel-good factor would have been gone. They waited until we got through a really tough period in December, and we had those 5 games against 5 relegation-level sides, and it was like, oh, maybe Ollie can come in and win 2 or 3 of those games. He blew them away and won all of them, and won them all convincingly. And it was like, wow. And there we have it. Ollie at the wheel was begun, and I think that they want to try and create, because they're stupid, and they think the football works like this. Oh, we could create the same buzz and the same kind of noise around the new manager announcement in the same way, and that will completely bury all our misgivings as owners and as a board. Final super chat before we go back to Cam from Dinesh that says, it took Liverpool 26 years to find the right manager. That's true. That's very, very true. Cam, what were you saying, bro?
All right, is my signal better now?
Perfect.
Sorry, I was on the other side of the house. Okay, perfect. So yeah, what I was trying to say is, like, again, it all comes down to the stuff, like the way we beat these teams. If Ollie all of a sudden turns around and we're playing with these teams, we're playing attractive football, he switches into a 4-3-3, possessions 50-50, there's been chances back and forth, and we win those games, it'll be hard for any of us as fans to say sack him, let's be honest. But if we sit back and we're hitting them on the counter and we're playing like a small team and we're winning these games in a fashion that is not United fashion, I understand that some games you do have to change your tactics. You do have to play counterattacking football. Sometimes you will be tired. But if we go into every one of these big games and we look like the smaller team, he has to go. But the bigger worry now is, like you were saying earlier, is like, let's say we've dicked Poch around long enough and he's kind of like, I want X amount and I want this control, and then he doesn't get it. He pulls out. Nagelsmann's with RB Leipzig. There's no guarantee he's going to just say, I want to come to United and give up what I have here, what's going well for him at this point, because he could easily just walk into the Bayern job in a few years. He could walk into the PSG job. He can walk into these big jobs. Yeah. And then we do what we've always done, and we get a manager that doesn't fit the brand of what United is about, and we get Allegri per se. Allegri is a great manager, but he is exactly what Jose was to us, where Jose was going to be a short-term fix. We knew this going in. He was going to win a trophy, so thank you for that. Like, we can never be mad at him for winning us trophies, getting us back in the Champions League. But we were never going to buy into the football he was playing. It seems like he might have changed his tune at Tottenham the last few games, but he does this. We know this. But it's like, we need to get a manager who fits who we are. And if we settle, we're done. Like, we're done.
I've got a question for you, Cam. You said there that with the players that we have, we should be playing possession-based football. No, if Ollie plays counter-attacking football, and we play like a small team, that he should be gone. Whereas if he plays possession plays full on the attack football, he can keep his job. About the question that we as United fans need to ask, and I don't think we actually ask ourselves this because we just look at the manager and the board a bit too much sometimes. Do we even have the players to play this?
I absolutely think we do.
I don't think so.
If we look at certain players, some days I'm like, yes, we do. Sometimes like, no, we don't. We just look at the players we bought last in the summer before this summer. So Maguire played well under a counter-attacking team in that Leicester side. Aaron Bissaka played well in a counter-attacking team. Bruno Fernandes, the way that he plays suits counter-attacking football because there's enough space for him to do all these ridiculous through balls that we know we can do. Now, if we actually look at the performances that we played well in the runs that we had, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka looked absolutely brilliant in the games where we were playing counter-attack football. If we look at the players like Fred and McTominay, they looked brilliant in games where we played counter-attacking football. Marcus Rashford, Martial, both of them look absolutely great because when there is space to run at, the teams are terrified of us. So this is where sometimes I question: have we missed the trick? Has Ollie missed the trick by trying to transition into a possession-based team when we don't actually have the players to transition to that?
Whether it's Ollie or whether it's the board, it's still a problem at board level. And whether the board have forced it or the board haven't stopped it is this. Whatever Ollie's, you may be right. Maybe Ollie said, I want to play. Jard, I've added you to the stream, bro. You can try and be as quiet as you can in the background before you speak. That'd be amazing, bro. It's very noisy.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to mute you, bro. Just keep yourself, if you've got a microphone, just keep yourself as quiet as possible for us, please. I lost my train of thought. Basically, if Ollie, if you could be right, think about it this way. Ollie's gone, I need to buy players that are going to be brilliant on the counter-attack, and I want to play counter-attacking football at Manchester United. Whether it's Ollie or whether it's the board have forced him into doing it, it still comes down to the board for me. If Ollie suddenly says this summer, guys, I'm going to scrap that. I'm going to try and play possession-based football. It's like, no, we bought you players last year to fit one particular kind of system. They're now not going to be able to change because we know they don't have the expertise for that. A football decision-making board with football brains on it would know this. So even if Ollie was about to change direction and do a complete brain fart, if you had the right coaches and the right board, they'd be able to stop that and gazump it and say, no, equally, that shouldn't even be possible. Man United should no longer be employing managers who want to deliver their own philosophy. It needs to be a club philosophy on how we want to play, and the manager comes in to coach in that image. Now, if you want to play free-flowing tiki-taka football, you don't bring in a Diego Simeone, you don't bring in an Allegri, you don't bring in a Jose Mourinho-esque kind of manager. You don't do it. Everything you've just said there, KJ, screams in the face again of us having no direction where, we're now going to look to go back to being a possession-based team like we tried to be under LVG as an example. And they're the kind of signings we've made this summer. And then by next summer, it might be Poch who's in charge. He goes, I want to go in this direction. So every time we start over again, we need to refresh the players. We never spend as much money as the cities do over a 2 or 3 year period, even though we spend a lot. And we start buying players and then we change the bloody system again. So we never get into a 3, 4, 5 year period where we can stockpile the kind of players we want to make our system work. The whole thing comes back to a board level because we're now 4 managers in and we're doing it over again. And even if Ollie come to me and I'm Woodward and he said, look, I want to change the system and the style, I'd be telling him no. I would say, look, you can't change it overnight like you're trying to do because we bought 4 or 5 players for you to fit the other system that you wanted to run. You're going to have to kind of create a bit of a hybrid where you do a bit of possession when you can, but keep to that counter-attacking mentality, and slowly we'll buy you the players and develop the players from the academy that can give you what you want. We just don't have a strategy. And for me, I'm not a football man, right? And that's very pie in the sky, very quick kind of suggestion. But that would seem to me like a sensible approach to changing a system, unless you were completely convinced you had the players for it. But we have changed our system this year. Our fullbacks suddenly playing narrow has destroyed us, right? So whatever we've done, it hasn't worked. We haven't got the players for it, or it hasn't landed properly with people. It's just a madness to me. Gerard has joined the call. What you saying, bro?
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to say?
Good. Watching all the way from Bermuda, 7,000 miles away.
Bermuda,
Jeez,
my guy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very humbling.
It's quarter to 6 out here, so it's early.
Well done, mate.
Damn.
But I pretty well watch most of your shows. But this piece of information, it's quite fascinating, you know, because on the one hand, I want to see Ollie succeed, and I want to see him win those 5 games. But on the other hand, I also think that he's not brave enough. It's not ruthless enough when it really matters. And that's what you have to. I'm not Ollie out enough, but that's what you have to seriously look at. But it all comes down to the hierarchy. Like they don't back him, and he's lost his confidence because of the transfer window.
And mate, and that could be, bro, and that could be very, very true. Appreciate your call, all the way there from Bermuda. I think Ollie has lost his confidence as well. No, I completely agree. Another super chat here says, we need another.
Has Terry gone?
Terry himself.
No,
yeah, he's muted himself.
Terry, mute yourself.
No, I'm here, bruv. Oh, sorry, I muted the wrong thing there, Jard. Thank you very much for your point. Sorry, people. Comment here says we need a director of football, not a manager. That's where I disagree. I also think this, but I want to put this out to you boys here. Thank you, Jard, for coming on. Does anyone actually think one guy, a director of football, but is actually going to change anything?
No. Like, even if we had him.
Like, look at Barcelona. They have a director of football. Look at a lot of these clubs. Even if we had him, it's still the board.
But also, people got to remember, all director of footballs aren't good, Like, we could get a bad director of football. Like, people automatically assume that if we get one in, they're going to be brilliant and it's going to change everything. There is a high possibility that we could get one of the worst directors in football because we have one of some of the worst football people in the world, fam. So don't make this whole director of football thing get you blinded from the fact that these man.
Sorry, guys. There's a comment here from iTest. Now, iTest, I have to read this out. I apologized to him yesterday because I did get something wrong, and I always admit to my mistakes. I'm a real man, and strong people admit to their mistakes. It's not a weakness, ladies and gentlemen. He said yesterday, he called a few weeks back when we signed Donny, and he's right. He said the Glazers would never spend the money to make us sort of better than we are. Once we make the Champions League, spend less. I rejected that notion based on what I believed at the time in terms of the press releases about what we were doing to restructure under Ollie. He was right about that. We just throw two things in. One, a couple of weeks after he said that the Glazers are the problem, he actually come on the show and said, ladies and gentlemen, I actually been thinking about it, and the Glazers are not really the issue. It's Ollie wasting their money as opposed to them not spending. So he actually undone his own point anyway, but I was going to allow him that. I've always heard him go vehemently attacking Ollie, and I've always said he's a bit of a fake Man United fan who's a glory hunter, and everyone shut me down. This is iTest comment. This team is finished when Paul Pogba leaves. I'm leaving Man United as well and going to support Madrid because I'm looking around at these players and I'm not excited to watch any of them. iTest has just said he's going to stop supporting Man United and support Real Madrid when Pogba leaves. Like I've said to you all along about people like iTest and these kind of fans, the ones that are really angry at Ollie and then looking at the bigger picture, they don't love Man United. They are here for certain players. They were here for the glory in the 90s or in the 2000s, or they came here maybe 5-6 years ago because of specific players. They do not support United. Now, I admitted I was wrong about the Glazer element. I thought we would have spent much better this summer. I thought we'd have at the very least, backed the manager this summer, right? That's what I thought. But imagine me, I retract my apology because I am not apologizing to a fake football fan. Anyone who can change the team they support, mad. iTest, mad.
You're
done out here, bro.
iTest, come on and explain. Like, I beg you're joking, fam. I beg that's a joke, and Terry's just got that wrong, bro. Like,
iTest is like iTest is like the weather, mate. That's what he's like.
Come on,
I beg that my dyslexia has kicked in and I've misread that, bro. I beg that this is my dyslexic brain. This is the point, right? I apologize for shouting him down for being wrong, although he hypocrisized himself by blaming the Glazers a week later. That's why the guy chops and changes his opinion. He only ever phones a show to try and prove me wrong. And by the way, like if you watch my show every day and then you watch it back a month later, I'm gonna get loads of things wrong because it's opinion based on what we know now, as opposed to what we know in the future. And that's normal. Literally, like no sweat off my back. But to say you're gonna stop supporting Man United, anyone who turns their back on Man United as a fan for footballing reasons only, you are a disgrace. If you do what the guys from FC United of Manchester did, where they left and started their own club because they were like, no, the Glazers are going to kill us, we're going to leave, I can stomach that. But just saying, I'm not happy with the players we've got, I'm supporting another club, you are not a football. And by the way, bro, Marseille FC, Pogba FC, half these Man United YouTubers are exactly the same as iTest. They do not love Manchester United. Well, call the show, bruv. Where you at, big man? Where you at, bruv? That's one of the weakest, most pathetic things I've ever heard in my life. Super chat here from, who's your super chat from? It says, Sir Alex Ferguson played counter-attacking football against the big teams for 26 years. We must have been a small team in all that time. Sir Alex should have been sacked for it. Come on, Cam. You're better than that, is what Gregory says on there. Cam, what do you respond to that? That's directed at you, bro.
I mean, he did, but like not every. Let's be honest. Like we were playing counterattacking football against Brighton. It's like come on. Like I understand what he's saying, and yes, I completely get it. Like the one City game we played, that was masterful, where we came back and we played counterattacking football, and there was a plan. But there's a difference in playing counterattacking football with a plan and a difference in playing counterattacking football when it's like you're just being destroyed. They're just when you're just being peppered, when it's just one-way traffic and then you get a break. That's a very different type of counterattacking football than going in and being set up and actually looking like you're trying to bring on pressure in the way kind of Jose played every now and then. That's not what we're doing. And if he thinks that's what we're doing now, then he's not watching. Plain and simple. It's not like at the end of the day, like there are games where we're just under pressure and we don't look like we have a plan and we're hoping for that outlet and that great pass. And that's what I'm talking about needs to not happen. And he's correct. Like, yes, we did. But at the end of the day, it's what is happening now is not exactly. And it doesn't look like it's a plan. And I want to kind of respond to what KJ said with the players we have. It's like, if you look at Pogba, and I don't get to watch a lot of international games, being Canadian, it's hard to find the games. But when I do get to watch them, I watch Pogba in a France side that plays possession football. I don't see Bruno. I haven't seen him in that Portugal side, but I'm sure they do not play counterattacking football. You see Rashford.
They do, bro. That's how they win the Euros.
That's the thing. I have no idea. Like, I haven't seen. Oh, we're talking about that Euro run. But Bruno wasn't in that team. Let's be honest. Bruno didn't play in that.
But they still got the same. They still got the same manager.
Fair, maybe. But I know he didn't play in that. I watched every single game in that Euros, and he did not play in that.
But on your point, I think you're right. We did play counter-attack under Fergie, but it was a mixture of why Fergie was the greatest is he could change his styles to adapt to new problems. And listen, the only problem Fergie never overcame, and it was because of age, was the Pep problem. In terms of Pep did get the better of him in the handful of games they played against each other, but he was too long in the tooth. To get where I'm coming from, it's a bit like some of the defeats towards the end of Muhammad Ali's boxing career. He wasn't beaten by people that were better than him at his peak. He was beaten by people that were better than him where they were at their peak and he was at the end of his career. Like, I remember when people said, like, Jose's done Fergie. Only took Fergie a few years. It took Fergie about a year or so later to get Jose sacked, bruv. Like, don't sleep on that guy. That's why he was a GOAT. He could change his systems, horses for courses in terms of that. Some more super chats here. Yes, sir, says a director of football, and we have a direction. This is where I disagree with you. I listen, this is the madness.
I get it. I get it. But, like, there's still bad directors of football out there. And if they lead us down the wrong direction, that's just another shield for the Glazers and Woodward fam. Like, this is the issue. We still got the board that are one of the most incompetent in world football making these decisions.
And bro, it's not even about a shield. They're not going to give that much power away. They're not going to give. They're literally not going to give the director of football. He'll put a plan and direction in place, like Ollie put one in place, like Joseph put one in place, like LVG put one in place. And when they get bored or when they decide it isn't working, they're going to pull people away from it. That's what they always do. Gotti Reyes here says he is an insecure fan, and it's a characteristic of him as a man. I think you're talking about eye test here. Well, eye test, listen, man, you don't change football teams ever. You pick who you pick and you stick with them. It's crazy. Eye test hasn't even got the guts to phone the show. Hasn't even got the guts to phone the show.
The integrity. Listen to this.
One sec. Sorry, guys. Sorry, one sec, mate. A few people are asking how to call in. Search Football Terrace FC on Skype. Call in. We'll get you on the show. Primarily, I like you guys to have profile pictures or your actual name so I know who you are as your username. When it's like loads of numbers and letters, I'm not going to put you on because I need to know who you are. We're going to add David to the line. We were going to have David. He disappeared. He's back. No, he's gone again. David is now with us. We've added David to the line. What are you going to say, mate?
Oh, hi, Terry. All right, mate?
I'm pretty good, bro. What do you want to say?
Oh, just regarding all this Ollie stuff. I mean, I don't know what people expect. I mean, he's just started his second season, right?
Yes, second full season, yeah.
Yeah, and we're 3 games in, and obviously crap start. But I don't know why people are so overreactive. I think they're just, I mean, if we were 15, 20 games in, maybe they'd have a point. But like you say, we're just going in cycles again. 18 months' time, they'll want Poch out, then they want someone else, and then they want someone else. It's just an end of cycle. I'd rather we just at least let Ollie fail. If he's going to fail, we got to give him at least, if anyone in the club's history deserves a chance, it's him. And I think a lot of people forget that.
And I understand that. And I think a lot of Ollie-in people, it isn't so much even Ollie. They just want to see a manager give him the time to come in, do his job, try and be successful. And if it doesn't fail, at least we can say we went from start to finish and tried. Someone who I know doesn't want Ollie in, and someone who has just told us in the comment section that he's going to stop. It looked like it said he's going to stop supporting Manchester United if Pogba leaves. I tested down on the line. Did you actually say that, or I misread what you said?
Listen, I'm still going to support United. Listen, what I meant is that when Paul Pogba leaves, yeah, I'm looking around this squad, and I'm not excited to watch any of them. Like, but before a game, I look forward to watching Paul Pogba. When Paul Pogba leaves, I'm looking around this squad, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why?
I test. Don't you look at don't you look at Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, even players like Bruno, Van der Beek. We're gonna bring in Amad Traore in. He looks really exciting. Aren't you going to be aren't you excited for those players?
Nah, bro. Greenwood. I like. He's the future, but Rashford overhyped. Bruno overhyped. All these players for me are overhyped. For me, I'm looking around this squad, and I'm just looking at overhyped players, bro. United.
Wait. Did you say Martial's overhyped as well?
Martial's overhyped, bro.
So overhyped is cool. Overhyped is cool because Van Dijk was overhyped last season when people were saying he's about as good as Maldini. So that's overhyped. But you're telling me you're not excited. You don't get excited when Rashford's dribbling with the ball and he's going to take a shot. You don't get excited about the idea of seeing Telles on that left-hand side. You don't get excited about the idea of seeing Greenwood develop. You're not excited about seeing what Pilastri and what Amad Traore can do in a Man United kit. You're not excited about Bruno Fernandes when he takes a penalty. You're not excited about what Donny van der Beek can develop into. You're not excited about any of that, bro. And what if and what if we bring in Poch like you want? Would you then be excited to watch Man United again? Would you then be happy to support the club?
See, if we get a good manager in, I don't like I said, I don't rate these players as much as most people, but I believe these players will, if we get a manager in, like a Nagelsmann with a proper system, these players will do amazing. Because I believe
that isn't my question. That isn't my question.
Listen,
No, I don't want to listen. My question is, would you then keep watching the team? Because it sounds like you're going to stop supporting. The reason I say that is this. To support a football club, there's unconditional love. I love Manchester United in terms of the team on the field of play. I support them unconditionally. My favorite player leaves. When I was a kid, I idolized David Beckham. He left. I didn't care what he did to an extent at Real Madrid. I didn't look out. Like, I'd look at the results. What they're up to. I can't change who I support. If Man United got relegated to League One, would you still support them? Would you still watch them and follow them vehemently? If we got relegated to non-league football, would you still watch and support Manchester United? Because I don't think you would. And that means you don't love them. And if you don't love them, you're not a supporter. That means you don't love them.
Championship week in, week out. Come on, bro.
So you
just said you're going to leave because Pogba leaves, that's it, United are dead. That's a madness, bro.
No, I'm still supporting United. I'm just saying the individuals in this team are overhyped. That's why I want a manager in, because I believe, for example, Liverpool, I don't believe the individuals at Liverpool are amazing. For example, none of these players were outstanding before Klopp came in. Salah wasn't outstanding. Mane wasn't outstanding.
Whoa, bro, what are you saying?
Didn't Liverpool nearly win the title?
Guys, we've added Mac to the line here. Mac's been on a few morning shows with me recently. Mac, can you believe your ears relating to what I test is saying,
this
Mac?
Guy is you know what? I think he's winding us up.
It has to be.
He's got us on the wind up. He's got us on the wind up. That's all it is. He's got us on the wind up. Just, he can't be serious. You're trying to tell me, so if a player goes, so what are you going to do? You're going to follow Paul Pogba around everywhere he goes? Yeah, you're going to wash your shorts for him, yeah?
I'm still
Mate,
I'm just trying to say.
I test. Do you want to sniff Paul Pogba's pants? Is that what it is, bro?
No, okay,
listen. I just excited about these players. I'm still going to support United, but I'm excited about these players. We need...
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I've got two questions for you. One, have you been excited about Paul Pogba in his last few performances for Man United? Because they have been dog.
Paul Pogba, ever since he's come to United, has been used wrong. We've been using him in a number 6.
No. I didn't ask that because I agree with you on that one. I asked, have you been excited about this Paul Pogba we have seen in the Brighton game, in the Spurs game, in the Crystal Palace game? Have you been excited with that Paul Pogba?
I'm not excited to watch Paul Pogba as a number 6. I believe we've
No.
been using him wrong for a very long time. I want to see
So,
Paul Pogba number 8.
No, listen, yo, bro, I'm here with that. I'm here for that. Answer my question directly. Yes or no? The Paul
No,
Pogba that you've been seeing.
I haven't.
You haven't. Okay, cool. There you go. Okay, cool. And
I
then,
test.
So Mason Greenwood doesn't excite you at all. None of these players excite you. None of the players from the youth team, nothing.
Forget that. The end of last season, I test, right? Greenwood, Rashford, and Martial were banging in goals left, right, and centre. Paul Pogba weren't doing anything, mate.
yeah,
Like,
Joe,
how
that's a
can you
lie,
say
he
that?
was.
No, but he wasn't on. They were the ones that were the exciting ones because they're the ones that were scoring goals, and that's what football's about: scoring goals. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like he was just completely and utterly.
Like's already been said with iTest. I think iTest he does love to come on and be sort of deliberately antagonistic and kind of sort of obtuse and against the grain, which I do get and understand. But it's also why you hear his opinions changed. What I apologize for shutting him down on the other day. He was right about at the time that the Glazers don't spend when they're making the Champions Leagues, and they weren't going to this summer. But what you actually said is we're going to sign nobody else other than Donny van der Beek, and we went on to sign 4 more players. But then 2 weeks after that, you come on and said, actually, isn't the Glazers, it's Ollie wasting their money. You do change like the weather just to come on and try and win an argument. But obviously, hindsight, you might win something because we're all kind of giving a hypothesis and what we think is going to happen, and things cannot always come to fruition. But anyone that I just don't believe that you believe every single player got overhyped. But what you've done is very clever as well, iTest, and I can see through it a million miles away. What you're doing is very smart to say it's not about the individual players. It's all about the manager and the manager's system. Because that way, if Poch comes in, or Nagelsmann, or Allegri, or Simeone, or whoever, if Rashford and Bruno and AWB and Maguire kill it, that then leaves you then still get to be Mr. Right by saying, no, bro, they're not good. It's the system. It's your get out of jail free card. It's a bit like the people that say Ollie has no system, no tactics. When we play well, they go, nah, see, that's the individual moments of brilliance. You basically, you're creating a double-edged sword that you can continue to criticize Man United with or the players with. That way you can continue that way, let me finish. That way you will be able to continue being negative even when we're doing well. You still won't allow people. Rashford could bang in 50 goals. You say, yeah, but it's not really Rashford. It's Poch's triangles.
No. Let me explain. What I'm say is, players like Rashford, Bruno,
Stop. What did you call him? What did you call him?
As high as most people.
What did you just call Rashford?
I don't think they're...
What did you just call Rashford?
You called him Rashford.
Yeah, Rashford.
Okay, I thought you called him Trashford. I was about to ban you.
No, it was a glitch in.
Cool.
I don't rate Rashford, Bruno, Maguire's, AWBs as high as most people, but I don't think they're bad.
So how high? So let me delve into that. Right, let me delve into that. How high do you rate? Like, so let's just say right now, let's put things out there number wise. Like Ronaldo and Messi are 10s, right? So they're the 10s. No one else is a 10. Let's say like the Salahs, Manes. What are we going to say they are? 8s, 9s?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you putting Rashford on that scale, iTest?
I would say if his peak is probably going to be the level just below world class. I don't believe he will ever be world class. I'd say the level just below world class. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Hang on. Okay, I get that. I get that you don't rate him as world class. You do realize that the level just below world class
is a good level.
It's a phenomenal level because only about 5% of professional players become world class. That's really good, bro.
What's man talking about? That's a good level. Like if you're rating a player just below world class, what's this guy? You're in a wind up, bro. Is
Bro,
he
I never-
seriously on the
I
wind
love
up?
you, bro. Honestly, eye test. I know I sometimes shout it down and throw you off, but that's because I feel like, do you know how I look at eye test? Eye test, like, you know, when all your boys around and you're all having a laugh and a joke, and then your little brother turns up chatting shit. Do you know what I mean? and it's like, you give him a kick up the arse instead of, that's literally eye test. Eye test is your little brother that comes in saying stupid stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Nah,
Whatever.
listen,
Nice.
I reckon Mr. Itest genuinely believes in what he's saying. I know you might think it's a wind up, but Itest believes in what he's saying. You do you not?
I don't think he believes in what he's saying.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, let him say for himself. Itest, you believe in what you're saying, yeah?
Like I was gonna say, like I don't believe these players are as good as most people say, but they're not bad. And I believe if they're put in the right system, they're gonna do amazing. Like for example,
that's fine.
Mane and Salah.
Sorry.
Mane and Salah. I don't rate them. I don't think individually they're outstanding players. They're not on the levels of a Hazard or a Neymar. But because listen, 2 seconds. But because they have a manager like a Klopp, people put them on these levels because Klopp is such a good manager. He's able to elevate these players to
no, but wait, Itest. The problem with that argument is the player themselves have to have the ability in themselves anyway to fulfill the system to its highest level. So as much as yes, Klopp has made them better players, they still have to go out there and do that week in, week out.
Yes,
so to say that they're actually not as good
what I would say
as they are,
KJ.
I think is unfair and a fallacy because they have to be there. They have to be that good to even get there.
Absolutely. And what I would say is this: we've gone off course a bit here, and I want to bring it back before we get stuck in the weeds on this. You said that these Rashford as an example is like it will get to a level just below world class. How are you not excited by that? Because you said you're not excited about any United player. That's a madness. How can you not be excited about any by players that are just below world class? And equally, like it doesn't make sense to me. I just think for me, I'm really negative about the club at the moment, but I'm not negative about the players as an example because they are still as good as they say they are. And I don't want Paul Pogba to leave on a real level, but in terms of on a personal level, but on a real level, I think it's the best thing to be done. We added Ram to the call, but Ram, for whatever reason, it didn't seem to come on. And I'm sure he's calling because of what you just said about Mane.
Yeah, he is.
But listen, Itest, down the line because he's there. Ram is now with us. Ram, Mane and Salah are not very good. It's only because they play for Klopp. That is what Itest has basically said. What are you saying about that, Rami?
Absolutely ridiculous, man. Like, once I heard those words, I had to come on. I had to come on because you're disrespecting my boys. These two players are incredible, regardless of what Klopp is. Like Klopp is an amazing manager. We all know that. But these two players are world-class players. You expected me that Julian Brown would do a similar thing than Sadio Mane and Mo Salah in this system.
Let me clarify. Listen, let me clarify. I think these players are obviously very good players, but the reason they're put in the same conversation as the Hazards and the Neymars is because of Klopp. These players individually, are not as good as a Hazard. They're not. But Klopp put them in a right system. Yeah, same with Henderson. Henderson does not belong in a player of the season conversation, but because Klopp has put him in the right system, a system that so good.
But would you argue? Would you argue
these conversations where they don't belong? These players are put in these conversations where they don't belong.
It does make a little bit of sense.
System. That's what I'm trying to say.
It makes a tiny bit of sense, but
it does make a little bit.
It makes a lot of sense, but the way Itest says these things, Itest says it in a way that's disrespectful towards the player. What you should be saying is, which is right, Mane and Salah are top class football players, but of course, in a system that works with a manager that's amazing, with a team that has balance, players look better. However, the one area I disagree with you is this whole individual thing. I don't care how good a football player is as an individual. Do you know why? Because football isn't an individual sport. It's about how you fit into a system and how you adapt to a system. And what Sadio Mane and Mo Salah have done for the last 2.5 years in the Premier League, only a handful of other attacking players have been that consistent over that prolonged period of time and won major trophies at the same time. Very few players have done it. So to disrespect that in any way, shape, or form, it's like trying to play down. It's like trying to play down how good Paul Scholes was and how good Ryan Giggs was because they had Sir Alex Ferguson as a manager. It's like, well, no, you also got to look from the other point of view. To stay under a manager like Jurgen Klopp or Fergie or Pep, you need to be on precision, pinpoint quality. Otherwise, they move you straight out. When you've got an average manager or a team that chops and changes every 5 minutes, it's a lot easier for a player to underperform and get away with it because people can just say, well, it's the manager's lack of ability or the inconsistency at ball level that creates the instability and the inconsistency.
And you know what,
player.
Terry? Do you know who's a good example of that? Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling, he had that quality that we all saw at Liverpool. But what happened when he went with Pep? With Pep's system, it allowed him to score more goals. Because Raheem Sterling, when you look at the goals that he scored, most of them are tap-ins. Yeah. Because Pep plays that. Because I remember Thierry Henry came up with a quote where he said that Pep's philosophy that he used to say to the Barcelona players was, "My job is to only get you to the final third, and after that, it's down to you." And that's basically how he plays. He gets you to the final third, and most of their goals come from that cross ball across the keeper, and it's a tap-in. 99% of us could probably do it, yeah. But it's the system that makes him better. But it doesn't take away from the fact that Sterling hasn't still got the quality to do things. Look, we saw him at Liverpool,
of course,
playing under Pep just like
let me take it back to United. Let me relate it back to what I was trying to say earlier. Yeah, I don't believe these players are as good as most United fans say, but they're good, and I believe that with a good manager, someone like a Rashford, he was on the clock. Imagine Rashford was on the clock, I don't think he's amazing individually as someone like Terry.
I don't think you are. I think what you're saying, or what I'm interpreting, is that you're not necessarily not excited about the players that we have. I think you're just not excited about the manager we have. Yeah. So if Paul Pogba leaves and Ali's still here, you're not going to be excited. But if Paul Pogba stayed and Ali left, even with the players that we got around Paul Pogba as well, with a new manager, you would be more excited about United. Yes,
100%.
And I can take that, and I think that's fair. And I think that's a fair thing to say there, ITS, and agree to. But of course, like certain players in our team would look better with a higher class of manager. That most boxers.
It works hand to hand.
If you take the best boxer in the world right now, but give him to an average coach, his performance levels will drop. You take a very good fighter and put him with the best coach in the world, his levels will rise. It's fairly normal, bruv. Like, that's just how it is. Trust me, if I was teaching you how to drive a Formula One car, or Lewis Hamilton was teaching you, who do you think is going to make you a better driver? Like, seriously, it's a weird one, bruv. Of course, if you're going to get your hair cut by Nicky Clark, it's going to look a lot better than getting it done by Dodgy Dave for a $5 down the high street. It's just normal, bruv. When there's
a reason why Messi performs for Barcelona and doesn't perform for Argentina.
Well, what's around you is a massive part of it. And this is it's a team sport, and the coaching staff, the board, the manager, it's all conducive. It's all part of the issue. And this is why this notion of if we fix the manager, we fix our problems. No, we've got too many other broken areas in the club as well.
Yeah.
Why people have got to stop looking beyond manager, bruv. Get rid of the manager. We're going to be fine. We won't be. I know it. Thank you very much to Alexander Gomez, who's become a first team member of the Football Terrace. What we're going to do in the last little while now on this stream before we end actually is go member only in the comment section. Over 2,000 people tuning in, so please smash the like button right about now. We're also trending on the live page on Twitter right now, which is amazing. If you guys all hit that like button, we'll trend further up the levels as well. So let's get this past 1,000 likes while we're live, please. Member chat only now as well. If you want to become a member, there's a link inside the description below. You can sign up for as little as 99p. Big up Lee Gunner in the chat tonight as well. Really appreciate you, all your help, especially all your help recently, bro. With some other bits and pieces we've been doing. We've added Ram to the stream. Not Ram, sorry. O'Shea to the stream. Another Liverpool fan. What you saying, bro? O'Shea, are you there, bro? O'Shea. you saying, O'Shea? Listen, he's pulling a Liverpool defence. He ain't there.
You funny. You're very funny, Terry.
It's true. It's
Yo, Ram, why you sound like you're talking to a baby, bro? Like, are you okay, fam?
You know, I love
So what's the story then? Nagelsmann is going to be that's
yeah.
we're
So
looking at
we'll
now.
do a bit of a recap for anyone who's new to tuning in. So basically, a media article I was reading today suggested that United have spoke to representatives to sort of flesh out early on whether he'd be interested in the Man United job first of all. They then go on to talk about the normal. He's struggling. He's got to win games. He's got 5 games to save his job. What's going to happen? There are a few it says muted reports. I always find that a very interesting phrase because that means they're either talking or they're not talking. But that supposedly Man United would prefer Julian Nagelsmann over Mauricio Pochettino. I just wanted to gauge people's opinions as to whether or not they'd like him to come to the club, etc., etc. And I mean, we were chatting about it.
Ruin him.
I think the same as you, Bob. I think it would ruin him as well.
We're going to torture him, and he's going to be Julian. He's going to be Julian. We're going to ruin
Julian
him.
from Madagascar, bro.
Yeah, we're going to ruin him. That's what's going to happen because this club is not like. I mean.
Yeah, but then for me, you don't make sense then because in one breath you're saying get rid of Ollie, we'll get a manager, we'll be a better team, and the next breath you're saying if Nagelsmann comes, we're going to ruin it.
No.
Personally, I don't.
Go on, Matt.
I don't think that. You know what? As a Man United fan right now, I don't know what to do because I'm not saying I'm Ollie in. I'm not saying I'm Ollie out. What I'm really saying is I'm Glazer out because the structure you have as a club, it's not going to work with any manager. And I said this to Terry today. It doesn't matter who you get with this, Poch, Guardiola. It doesn't matter who you get. The structure we have as a club is not going to be conducive for any top class manager. And it's going to come a time where we're going to stop being able to attract these guys. So I don't know what to do as a Man United.
Yo, I've got something you can do, my friend. Join me in Vibes FC, fam. We're going to Vibes FC. We're doing it Ajax style. We're doing it for the Avengers team, Bob. Just join me, Bob. Because that's how I'm getting.
Yeah, 100%. And do you know what, Jem, I would say to your point is we will improve footballing wise, but everything that we improve on will be very, very, very short-lived because they will throw him under the bus at some stage as well. We've got a few member chats here. First one says from Jamie, he says, thank God we went member chats. Top Dog says, please Have Hope and eye test on the same show, please. Yeah, that would be hilarious if we did. Christopher says, my new managers for the specific teams would be City, Bentayg, Man United, Nagelsmann, Chelsea, Poch. Man United and Chelsea managers could switch potentially. Fair enough on that one. Thank you for Craig Williams for becoming a first team member of the Football Terrace and signing up. That means a great deal to us that you've done that, Craig Williams. Thank you very much, my bro. O'Shea, you there, bruv?
Yeah.
What'd you throw it up to say, man?
Going off, listen, I don't know why this is the end of Manchester United. It literally is. Everyone talking about Nagelsmann, however you pronounce his name, or Pochettino, the manager. I don't understand how this doesn't resonate with United fans. The manager is not the problem. The fact that you just had Jose Mourinho, one of the greatest managers to ever manage the game, and it didn't work, bro. What does that tell you? It's not the manager. It's Ed Woodward and the Glazers. So sack Ole, do that. Yeah, sack the best manager you've had since Alex Ferguson. Go get I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Yeah, or Nagelsmann. Yeah, or go get Pochettino and watch it be the same thing again. Because the difference between Ole and those two guys is those two guys are not yes men. So what will happen is the same issues with Jose, where the board won't be backing the managers in terms of getting players that they want. They'll be going back at the board, and within 18 months they'll be sacked, and it will be the same routine over and over and over and over again. And very soon, United will just become another AC Milan, another Ajax, another. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Oh, no,
Not Ajax.
No, I think what he means by Ajax is not winning the major honors anymore. That's what it will be. And do you know what? You know what we've been saying recently? It's signing all these wonder kids. I was listening to the radio today. I haven't listened to Talk Sport properly in months just because I haven't had the time, but I stuck it on today because I do love listening to it. Especially Simon Jordan. I think he's absolutely brilliant because he just, like when some man just speaks so bluntly because he's so rich, he can't be cancelled. Does that make sense? You can't take his income away from him because he's already rich. That's one thing I love about a rich person getting given a social commentary type job is they will say what they actually think. It's like, have you ever heard like Elon Musk do a talk? He's just blunt because it's like, I'm richer than God, so what are you going to do to me? They were talking on there that, with all the new rulings coming into the UK after Brexit, basically, they didn't go into detail, but signing players under the age of 18 to go into your academy from foreign clubs is practically going to be banned. So that's why I think Man United have gone so heavy this summer in signing all these players 18 years old and under into the academy ranks, like 11, 12 of them, because it's quite literally going to be stopping soon for all clubs from being able to do that. That could also damage Chelsea's kind of model quite a bit.
You know what's so frustrating about the
Chelsea
whole thing,
did
right?
that as well this summer.
Do you know what's so frustrating? Well, yeah, like obviously as a Liverpool fan, I don't want to see United succeed. But as a football fan, do you know what makes it even worse and more frustrating for Manchester United? Yeah, is that out of every club in the Premier League, even Liverpool, we've gone from finishing 8th to winning the league. Yeah, but it's taken us a good few years to do it from when Klopp took over. But forget Liverpool for a second. Forget Chelsea. Forget any other club. Out of all the clubs in the Premier League or even Europe, bar Real Madrid, United are the only club that could literally, if they wanted to, decide to switch it on. Over a season, United could go and decide to win the league. If you, man, just put not you, man, but if the owners and Ed Woodward decided to just bang their heads together and go out and buy the right players, you, man, could go and win the league because you have more money than anybody else. You can outbid anybody else. And if City decide to match your bid, you can go, well, fine, we'll pay you this amount of wages.
What? You're right. The Glazers will never do that. But if we ever got an owner that came in, that bought the club and wrote the debt off, I will take Monstar's phrase here, but I legit mean it, RIP our rivals. If we get an owner that comes in, takes the debt away, and wants us to win trophies as the primary target, everyone's done. We still spend a lot of money now, right, under FFP rules. We about 80 to 100 million pound a year is spent on interest, loans, and dividends. Imagine an extra 100 million pounds a year in our bank balance for us to go and spend. We will be able to beat and smash every single club out the water financially. That's the bit. This is what football fans don't realize. Man United have built such a global fan base. It's frustrating that we only spend 120 million sometimes. We should be doing 200-300 million pound in some summers and be able to do it with no worries. And you're right. If we actually have proper owners, like this is the thing, if a billionaire buys us, barring what he pays for the club, which he doesn't actually spend because you're buying an asset that will probably grow, so it's an investment. You buy us for 3 billion. In 10 years' time, if we keep, even at this level, we'll be, with the way property and stuff, we'll be worth 5 billion. It's a damn investment. You're not going to get that interest in a bank account anywhere, right? A billionaire wouldn't even have to put a penny of their own money into the club. Okay, maybe lend us some money to fix the roof at the stadium first of all. But we are, and that's the thing. Like, if we had a good owner come in, if the owner of Amazon bought us tomorrow, and then we went and signed Mauricio Pochettino, we're gonna win. We'll blow everyone out of the water inside a few years. But the problem is we don't have owners that look at winning as the end result. Winning is an added bonus on the side of how do we make money out of this place, and that's what it comes to. That's it.
I believe we're going in a different direction. A lot of people are not seeing this yet. A lot of people are saying United are finished, but I believe we're going in a different direction. Look how much we've spent on these young prospects. Like the whole of last season, almost every month I'm hearing a new young talent from there, a new young talent from there. I could see us going in another direction.
There's a lot of hope in what you're saying.
Bro, building for the future.
Players work.
Look how
you
much
have to hope that they work.
In the new, in young talent.
The direction that United are going in. Yeah? You're going round the corner to strange ways, bruv. That's the direction United are going in.
I know. I understand the positive outlook on these youth players coming in, but you got to remember this: youth football to men's football is a massive jump, and then you got to remember our football is the Premier League. So all these young talents, half of them, not even half of them, 3/4 of them won't even make it into the matchday squad. So we've bought all these talents, and all we can do is hope that we can develop them. My question is to you, Itest. My question is to you. Do you actually care that the Glazers own us?
course I care. I was the one. I was the one that was calling for Glazers out when Terry was saying, "No, Glazers are doing a good job,"
No,
and he apologized to me.
Hang on. Whoa! I didn't say they were doing a good job. I have never once said the Glazers are doing a good job. I said that the board briefed us and told us on all the new things they were putting into place. I never once have said they're doing a good job. Don't put words in my mouth, young man. That's a very silly thing for you to do.
Let me tell you this, yeah. I've seen this movie too many times, right? We've bought a lot of youth players before. Who was that Uruguayan right back or left back?
Oh, Varela, fam.
Varela. He was one of like the top youth prospects when we brought him in. I don't know where that guy is right now. He's somewhere in a pub. Yeah, driving.
I swear
we played against him.
He was at LASK. Was it LASK or one of those clubs he played?
No. He was at Copenhagen.
Yeah, one of the clubs he played at. He was there. But
yeah, actually, you're right.
When we signed the low 2 years ago, he was tipped to be one of these. And listen, some of these youngsters, I wouldn't put it past the Glazers to be like, do you know what? Let's go around the world snapping up these wonder kids for like 500,000 here, 3 million there, 5 million there. And do what Chelsea do. Loan them out as often as we can and get loan fees. And then at the end of all those loans, we just sell them when they've got a year or two left on their contract. We bought them in for 10 million in total. It's cost us 10 million. As long as the loan fees we've had for 3 years come to 6 million. And then we sell them on for 8 million. We've made profit. Honestly, that's what I think they're going to look to you to do. I wish I had your faith, ITS. But the reason I can't have your faith is because literally what you've just said to me. They briefed us back in March about how they changed the recruitment structure, the decision-making structure. They were going towards a new philosophy. It was the new world order at Man United. I believed it because they based it on what we'd done in the previous summer. Okay, I'm going to give you my last bit of faith. My last time I'm going to trust you. And I shut you down because I went, no, it wasn't the Glazers so much. It was, no, we are building towards something. We're going to do it. They have ripped that all up this summer. They will never be trusted by me again. So, and I'm going to treat United how I treat Chelsea. Proof's got to be in the pudding. Like I've said about developing things under Lampard. Until I see Lampard go for a couple of periods of bad form, whether or not he's won a league title or not, and they don't sack him, then I'm going to tell you Chelsea have changed their ways. Until I see an academy player go through bad periods and not be replaced with a more experienced player on a regular, like 3 or 4 or 5 of them, it's got to happen to, then I'll believe they've changed their ways.
And I will as well.
And it's about, that's it, straight up. Yeah, of course, can, bro.
Can I just say quickly, yeah? Like KJ pretty much just said before, yeah? In terms of these young players you've signed, all you're going off is luck. Times have changed in football now. We're no longer living in those days where English coaching was the forefront of European coaching. That isn't the case anymore. Look at Liverpool. Only one player out of our whole academy has actually made it into the first team, bruv. And properly, other than Curtis Jones, but Trent Alexander-Arnold is the only guy that's made it, and he's playing week in, week out. And he ain't even
that good, bro. You know what I mean?
No, allow that.
That's right. This is what I'm saying. Most clubs,
that's right.
I'll start to believe in Manchester United because we have this like image of we have, because we keep up this whole thing about having a certain amount of youth prospects in the team and what. All right, whatever. But you see, when I'll start trusting Manchester United when it comes to actually bringing through youth, when our youth team plays like our first team. Because if you're looking to bring through players, right, they have to be trained underneath a system that the whole club is working with. You can't have them playing. If you look at the youth team, and then what Kieran McKenna was doing with the youth team was totally different from what Jose was doing with the first team. So how are you expecting those players to then come through and then shine? There's no cohesion.
Bro, can you imagine that, right? So go on, Matt. Go on.
Yeah, well, once we see that, then we can say, all right, cool. Maybe they're making some inroads to actually like do things properly. But there's no cohesion at all whatsoever.
And I test if we do what you want and keep jumping from manager to manager until we get it right, we'll never create the cohesion for the academy players to work. Imagine you do this, bro. What do you do? Do you work? I test you at college, uni, what?
No. I just finished sixth form, innit?
Okay. So what did you study at sixth form?
I studied. Right. I'm right now. I'm doing an apprenticeship at civil engineering.
Okay, cool.
I studied.
Now I don't know nothing about civil engineering, but can you imagine this, bro? Can you imagine you spend the next 4 or 5 years doing engineering, like studying engineering, you get qualified,
Yeah.
and then you go to your real job, and everything they taught you to be qualified isn't actually how it is in the real workplace. Nothing you know is relative, like nothing you know works. So imagine you come through the academy system at Man United playing football a certain way, and you go into the first team, and the systems, the formations, the styles, the attitude, where you have to run, where you have to be, it's all different. It'd be a waste. You wouldn't be compatible with how your first team play, right? You wouldn't be compatible with how civil engineering is in the real world. It doesn't work that way. What you're taught at college and university around civil engineering enables you to walk into a job and have expertise and do well in that profession. We need to create that same cohesion at Man United from top to bottom. We don't. We still right now behave differently at academy level to we do the first team. Ollie tried to fix that, and they've already thrown him under the bus. They're going to do it to Poch. They're going to do it to Nagelsmann. They're going to do it to Simeone. They're going to do it to everybody. We are not going to succeed with this board and with these owners at the club. And until I see the success, I'm not going to believe it's happening, bruv. Seeing is believing. And
the only club that can really talk right now about, or the only fan group that can really talk right now about putting faith into their youth is Arsenal. Because when you look at the youth teams the youth players that they have, all of them, whenever they play, seem to play great. But look what it's taken them to have that. It's taken them to have a whole squad full of dead wood and trash, and it's forced them to have to play these youths for them to see those youth sign. Do you want United to end up like that? Do you want to end up with just a team full of trash where you have to be forced to play these youths?
I know what the shame is. The shame is for Arsenal fans. That, like, I know a lot of them had to delude themselves about their own youth players, which we all do, which is fine. The only good one from their youth academy that plays is Saka. The rest of them are dead.
Yeah, but
It's a shame. It's a shame you're not Chelsea, isn't it? We've got Mason Mount, Hudson-Odoi.
I think dead is a bit strong, to be fair, because
Okay. When I say dead, I mean, average footballer. So is Reece Nelson. So is Joe Willock. Yeah. Average Premier League.
Bar average.
Magnified though. I think their averageness is only magnified because Saka is so good and he's so young. Do you get where I'm coming from? He's not just he's brilliant and he's only 18. That's why the rest of them look average. Whereas if Saka was average, you'd be looking at that and going, yeah, they've got a pretty good youth team. Do you get where I'm coming from?
I think that most clubs are the same, where every club has got one or two, relatively speaking, that are brilliant, that are in and around their first team. Phil Foden at Man City. You guys have got Trent. You've got a few more coming through. We have Greenwood as a standout example. I think James Garner is going to be a very good player to come through. Mengi, a few others that are in and around that. Arsenal,
Ethan Laird, let's go, baby.
Ethan Laird as well. You've
Laird,
obviously got
yeah.
but they haven't played in the first team yet. So we're going with people that we know. You know, you've got the Saka situation. I mentioned Phil Foden already. Chelsea, you've got Reece James that fits into that. You've got Tammy that's good. I'm not saying elite, but they're still very good players. Tottenham, I mean, they've got Harry Kane. I mean, I know he's older now, but he's part of it. Harry Winks has come through. Everyone's got one or two. But what normally happens is there's Arsenal's Willocks and the like would probably look a lot better if they had a much stronger first team around them. I think they're let down by the fact that sometimes like, Willock, we're relying on you to be the star today. It's like, bruv, that ain't fair, really, because I need better people around me. But there we go. Boys, I appreciate you all coming on, having your say.
Sorry. Just to interrupt quickly. Just one question. No, as you spoke about Tottenham. Just a quick question. Where's Troy Parrott?
He's on loan.
I think he's gone out on loan. Yeah.
Peterborough or Southend, I think, one of those two.
Yeah,
Don't need a striker. I would.
Oh, they've got big Vinicius now as backup, so it don't matter.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, there's no way Jose was going to play him. Jose hated playing our academy players, let alone like he's just now that Daniel Levy loves him off. There's no way he's going to be forced into playing them. Shoham with a super chat says Julian Nagelsmann is good, but I kind of prefer. Is it Marco Rose or Marco Rose from Mönchengladbach? Eric.
Marco. Yeah. Marco Rose is a very good manager as well.
Eric Ten Hag from Ajax, or David Hasselhoff, I like to call him, at Southampton. They're all good choices. Don, thank you very much for becoming an Academy member of the channel. I appreciate that loads. But everyone who's tuned in this afternoon, it might be the afternoon where you are, this evening, thank you. Hit the like button, hit the share button as well. Massive stream what we've done over so far on views this evening, over 27,000 views, which is absolutely amazing. Massive thank you to all of you for making that possible. I'll be back tomorrow morning. You're going to enjoy the show tomorrow morning. It's not Man United based. We've got all the Chelsea shows Liverpool shows, United shows coming back this week. We're working it out, but we're going to be previewing this week Arsenal City. We're going to be previewing the Merseyside derby. We're going to have man like Grizz on and a few others. We're trying to find some Everton and City fans. It is hard. We're going to reach out to Jan and see if she's available. But previewing them, previewing Man United, Newcastle as well. We're going to have some Newcastle fans on the show doing that. But tomorrow morning, big storyline, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's going to trigger a gal, but it's got to be done. Turns out Thomas Partey tried to force a move through to Juve or Chelsea, and because nobody wanted him, he settled for Arsenal. How embarrassing is that? We're talking about that in the morning, people. Arsenal are literally, they're not even sloppy seconds, bro. They've literally, they've walked in and it's been rattled out, bro. That's all I'm going to say.
You know what? Arsenal, they're not even the small fish. They're plankton.
Yeah, they're the algae, bro. They're the algae. Do you know what I mean? So Arsenal fans, that's our stream in the morning. So make sure you're tuning in live around 8 a.m., something like that. Until next time, people, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.